Hi, I'm Matt D'Souza, and this is my project. Now I want to tell you a story about how I became UAlbany's first real Iron Man. Now, before I begin telling you what my project is about, I would like to tell you about the original project idea that I had originally. So, in order to reduce phone usage on motorcycles, implementing a HUD system or a heads up display into the visor of the helmet would drastically decrease the amount of times the user would use their phone on the bike and or look at directions, which also does the same thing. But this can also be implemented to have like Siri or any other AI implemented into the helmet. And this original idea was going to cost me upwards to about $3,000 plus, and it just wasn't a realistic goal for me. So in order to do that, I came up with this. It uses generally the same ideals that I wanted to do in my original project, yet simplifies it more and makes it more reasonable for a college student to create without an immense budget that is offered to me, like any grants or any just free money just to make this project happen. And I'm happy with the way this came out. So this entire project consists of 3D printing PLA into certain shapes and any objects that I can make, and I put them into Prusa slicer using the STL files I got. And once that's done, everything is PLA soldered together. And if I lift this up, you can see it's a little bit of a mess in here, but let me see if I can get the right angle. Right back here, right where my finger is, that's one example of PLA soldering. Everything else, I just thought masking tape and foam, and it shouldn't really go anywhere. I put super glue on top of it, so it shouldn't really budge. And the LED eyes, all on one circuit with the Arduino Nano and the micro servos. And the micro servos that I went with were MG90S's, which are Metal Gear, which is much preferable unless you want plastic, which is they wear out a lot, but Metal Gears are more reliable. And the types of LED lights that I went for the eyes were these. I just got them off Amazon. They're really cheap, they're really flexible, and they can be turned on with a simple switch. And everything is encoded through this Arduino Nano, so this is the entirety of the project. And it all runs through this off of a code that I got half on the internet and half wrote. So, alright, so as you can see in here again, I have the LED eyes all wired up through the servos. Everything runs through this middle port that I closed up, just so it looks a little bit cleaner. Obviously, the inside's not the cleanest, but I tried doing my best. These micro servos, it's two micro servos with two arms that I 3D printed myself, so all the internals are also 3D printed. I have a couple extras right here. And as you can see, that red light right there, that's the Arduino Nano that I did not burn. This was the first one I did burn. I ran too much current through it. And everything is blocked by this foam pad that I put for more stability on my head and makes the helmet not like tilt down too much. It just sits perfectly. And the whole reason I wanted to do this is not to be better than the other project, but to build onto it and see what could I have done to improve this, and what can I bring to the table to enhance the helmet making process, and or like what I wanted to do originally, the motorcycle helmets, and make motorcycle riders safer on the road and not have to worry about anything. Back in 2022, I was introduced to the UAlbany showcase, and that's where I saw one kid create an Iron Man helmet. It wasn't able to be worn, and it also did not move, but it was pretty cool and it interested me. So in order to do that, I built two working prototypes, which is the small one just for speed. I needed it to come out quicker, so I built this. I PLA soldered both of them to stick, and I also scaled it up a little bit more just to see how it would look for measurements and everything. It didn't quite line up, so I had to reprint it again. But when looking at Mark 1, Mark 2 compared to Mark 3, I would much rather pick Mark 3 any day of the week. So this part of the video was me just telling you exactly what is inside the helmet and how it works and how I got about doing it. And one thing I did forget is the spray paint. I think the paint job came out amazing on it, and everybody says so, but I think I could have done a little bit better. But at this point, it is what it looks great, but I gotta rock with it. So I'm gonna leave you off in the note that saying, you Albany is a little bit safer, because I am Iron Man.